Hi folks, and welcome to Applied Linguistics. In this summer course that's going to run through the entirety of the summer, you will be speaking with me and with peers about different grammatical issues, the practice of grammar, grammar concepts, and different language barriers, different language items, concepts, things that will carry into your future English classrooms. So I'm going to go over in this lecture your syllabus as well as the Blackboard site, and in the second lecture you'll see a little bit more of an in-depth overview of the assignments in this course. My name is Dr. Katie Rybakova. I'll be your instructor. And you can reach me at krybakova@fsu.edu. My Skype hours are by appointment. Just email me and let me know you want to chat with me, and my Skype address is kova1227. You can also contact me on the Remind account for this course, which we'll get into once we get to the Blackboard site. But Remind 101 is not required for this course, as it is in the teaching and tech class that a lot of you are in. Okay, so let's talk about the course. The course is for high school and middle school teachers, that's you guys, and pre-service, okay? And we're going to be talking about grammar, usage, dialect, diction, semantics, syntax, those things that impact how you teach language and grammar in the classrooms, as well as a brief overview of the history of English language. That'll help you kind of get an idea of where we're coming from getting to this point. The required text for this course is mechanically inclined. You will get quizzed on this text, so make sure that you buy it and you read what it is all about. Hopefully it's an interesting read. I found that it's pretty easy to read because it's a practical guide for teachers. You also need access to Skype, particularly if you want to Skype with me to chat about something in particular. The topical course outline, we're going to cover historical aspects, pedagogical aspects, and sociocultural aspects of grammar instruction. This will be covered throughout the course in small sections. The field and clinical activities, there are none, so you don't have to worry about that. I want you to read over the university attendance policies, the netiquette statement, the sexual harassment statements. Those are all required syllabus items that you do need to abide by. For the course, your first day attendance is, since it's an online course, you will need to post to the welcome discussion board that's already up on Blackboard by the third day of session A, that's Wednesday. Late work, the late work policy is a little different from a lot of my face-to-face classes for those of you who have taken a class with me. I will automatically deduct 20% of the grade value from the work submitted each 24-hour period it's late. That includes discussion board posts, and it does include the weekends. You will receive a 0 once you go past the 3-day due date. I don't accept late work after 3 days. I also would suggest that you let me know ahead of time if you are going to submit something late. You will get penalized the same way, but that's just a dispositional thing that you want to make sure that you're abiding by. It's professional. It's professional to let me know you're communicating that you have these time management skills and you're aware of what you're doing in terms of submitting late work. Okay, for the lecture 2, we will go in depth in terms of these assignments outlined. There will be discussion board postings and responses that you'll do every week. You'll have an immersion assignment, you'll have a grammar book evaluation, a history of English language project, which is going to be a group project. You're also going to submit several lesson plans. You're going to submit just one grammar and popular culture mini lesson. And then for your final, you're going to submit a lesson series of 3 total lessons that can vary. So the content of this really just has to include language in some form. It can be a writing workshop that you do with your students. You can focus specifically on grammar. That's up to you, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. And then the grammar practice quizzes, we'll talk about this a little bit more. You'll have several grammar quizzes throughout the semester. They're going to be every week, due on Friday. They're open note, but they are timed from 30 to 60 minutes. Some of them will have very few questions. Some of them will have between 7 and 10 questions. They'll never go over 10 questions. The questions on this will make sure that you're reading what you're supposed to be reading. And they will also ask you questions about grammar. You'll be able to practice specific grammatical constructs and concepts through these practice quizzes. So that's a big bulk of your grade in this course because you will be doing them every week. And this is the breakdown for the grades. Remember that for those of you who are in teacher prep, you do need to have a C+ or above. So if you're in English Ed, either at the master's or undergraduate level, you do need to get a C+ or higher in this course to continue on into methods next in the fall. Okay, so I want you to pull up your syllabus and really thoroughly read the course expectations and important information. I'm not going to read it for you, but I want to highlight a couple of things that are very important. So the first thing is that I think it's very important in an online course to kind of identify why it is that I am asking you to do the amount of projects I'm having you do, the lesson plans I'm having you do. Remember that for a 3-credit-hour class, if you were meeting face-to-face, which it would be 15 weeks, right, in the spring or fall, you would meet for 3 hours a week and would have about 6 hours of additional work in addition to that 3-hour class that you meet weekly. Okay, since we're covering 13 weeks in the summer, not 15 weeks, that amount of work probably goes down to about 6 to 9 hours of work a week. Of course, we don't meet face-to-face, so you'll see that you're dedicating about 6 to 9 hours of work for this class, for this online class. You're going to be reading quite a bit, you're going to be watching videos, and of course it'll take some time to work on the projects listed. Time management is very important in an online class. Like I've mentioned in the tech class lecture, you will want to take a few days out of the week to where you are focusing on applied linguistics and answering the discussion questions and reading what you're supposed to be reading. Okay, you will have several requirements. You'll be watching between 20 and 30 minutes of video each week, varying from lectures to TED Talks to graduate student presentations, and you'll read chapters and articles outlined for you each week. Okay, so what you're going to be expected to do is reply to the discussion questions every Monday at 9 a.m. and you're going to post the responses the next day on Tuesday by 5 p.m. You're going to reply to at least one peer. Every Friday, you will take a weekly quiz. These quizzes, like I said, are timed, but they are open book. They do have pretty open questions. They're not multiple choice. They're essay format. Do read and watch what you need to watch before starting the quiz, and make sure that you're doing that. Okay, we're going to go down into the table here in a second. A lot of the discussion questions are going to be reader response type questions. They're going to be practice-based questions. You're going to be reading a lot of different kinds of formats. So you're going to be watching TED Talks, you're going to be reading peer-reviewed work, you're going to be reading chapters out of books, you're going to be watching, reading, listening to podcasts and different items about specific grammar constructs. Of course, you're going to read the text for this class. And you're also going to participate in your own writing activities to heighten your own grammar knowledge. So a lot of these will be creative writing prompts that will focus on grammar. The way that I've structured this class is so that you can take away particular prompts and particular things that you yourself will engage in into your future classroom for grammar practice for your students. I feel like the best way you learn to be a teacher is learn what you like as a student. So that's the way that I formatted this class. The teaching and tech class I know that a lot of you are in is much more peer-based and group-based, while this one is a lot more independent, which means you have a lot more flexibility. You can work weeks ahead of time if you want to. I will make sure that I post several weeks ahead of time so that you have that opportunity to do that. We'll get into the specifics in a little bit. Okay, the extra credit that I wanted to note to you is to submit an entry to a writing contest of some kind. Options include but are not restricted to the ones listed here. I've listed them here and I've mentioned it now just because there are deadlines that are coming up pretty quick. So if you want that extra credit, and the point allocations are listed right here, feel free to submit that. All you would need to do is submit the entry receipt to me for the extra credit. This is what you're going to be going by, the syllabus here listed in the video. This portion, the course expectations and what you're reading, is what you're going to be reading for the course. You'll also find in the discussion board that you'll be doing specific activities. I've already mentioned the creative writing prompts. You'll also be able to read, starting about week 2, week 3, you're going to start reading text examples from different grade levels, as well as student writing samples from different grade levels. Some of this has been collected over the years that I've taught. Some of this has been collected from teacher friends who are teaching other grade levels, and then some of it is collected from online sources. So it's kind of from all different types of places so that you can see a variety of different student writing. We'll talk about how to give feedback to students on their writing, specifically about grammar, specifically about language, and also in terms of content and how you should go about that. We're also going to be doing remixes. This is the part of that creative writing portion, is where you're going to be remixing and recreating a text modeled off of a different text. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we continue on through this course, but keep that in mind as we move forward. Let me go ahead and pull up the Blackboard site. You'll notice that it is a little bit different from your typical Blackboard site. When you first open it, you'll find this home page. Right now it's not populated, but it will be populated once there is something to be something due here, so that'll be listed here. So if you need to upload something on Blackboard, that'll be listed there. If you click on the home page, that's what it's going to bring you to. For the course information, it's going to have the syllabus. I'm doing this lecture the Friday of finals week, so you will see that syllabus once you log into this Blackboard site. My instructor is me. You know me. Okay, my Skype address is KOVA1227. As a reminder, you can use Remind to contact me as well. It will send me a message through the website interface. If you're not sure how to use it, feel free to let me know. But there are directions on how to sign up for it in the assignments portion tab. Okay. For the content, you'll see that all of the things that you will need to submit will be listed here. For the assignments, you'll see that there are going to be folders for each week. Each folder will contain the things that you need to do that week. So for the first week, you have your listed readings, your listed watch videos, your requirements in terms of attendance, the grammar income quiz that you'll take, and the Remind 101 setup. If you feel like you do not need the Remind 101 setup, that's perfectly okay. It is optional, but I do recommend it. I will send out course information and reminders through this platform, nothing that I wouldn't post through the announcements on the Blackboard site, but I will send out reminders that go directly to your phone or directly to your email to remind you of upcoming due dates. This is especially helpful if you're taking more than one online class, so I do recommend it. You'll access tests and quizzes every week for your weekly quizzes. For the first week, you'll have a short quiz. It is only 4 questions long. It is timed for a short amount of time, but it's really kind of an entry-level quiz so that you can kind of get the hang of what quizzes look like. and the way that they're set up. This is where you'll do the bulk of your work, your discussion board. Okay, there will be questions listed here. As you can see, the welcome discussion board is due May 11th. You'll post that and you'll post answers to these questions as well. Okay, we do have several graduate students in this cohort. They will have additional questions some weeks, and some weeks they'll be answering the same ones, but you will watch a couple of videos if you're an undergraduate completed by the graduate students in this course. So we're going to work together on that. And you'll see that there are some creative writing prompts and there are some grammar specific prompts. So the questions are meant for you to reflect on what you've been reading. Like I said, this course is set up a lot more for independent study. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. The rest of these are pretty straightforward. You'll be able to access your grades from My Grades. The tools will list all the wikis and all the different technologies, which we won't use too much throughout this course, but you'll have an option to use that for your group project once you get to it. Like I said, you can feel free to email me with any questions, but welcome to Applied Linguistics, and I'm looking forward to a great semester with you guys.